Hello, welcome to Richard's Comics. Today I wanted to go over the latest comics that I got in the mail. So let's start with the beginning. First book up, Amazing Spider-Man number 17, Legacy number 911. This continues the Dark Web storyline. Last issue, Peter Parker got sent off to Limbo. Really, Ben Reilly has been after Peter's memories because he thinks that Peter stole them from him. His memory's been messed up for quite a while now. And again, this crosses over with Miss Marvel and also with X-Men. And also there is a Go Goblin limited series with Norman Osborn that also ties into this event. Okay, next book. Batman 131. This continues the Failsafe storyline. If you've been reading this, you know that basically last issue doesn't end too well for Bruce Wayne outside the Fortress of Solitude. I believe this is the last part of the Failsafe storyline. We all know that they're not going to kill Bruce Wayne and Batman for very long and leave him dead. So we'll have to see how Bruce gets out of it this time. Next issue, Dark Knights of Steel, number 9 of 12. This continues the... it's an alternate universe, basically set in medieval times, where the Kryptonians came to a primeval like Earth. This one, things really come to a head between the Kingdom of Storms, I believe, and the one with the Kryptonians. You can see a big battle here between Kal-El and Diana Prince and various other characters. So this is really where the big war gets really seems to kick off. Next issue, alluded to it earlier, Go Goblin number 3, Dark Web tie-in. You can see it's got Queen Goblin and Norman Osborn, his Go Goblin identity, coming to blows. I'm really hoping that they continue the character development of Norman Osborn and not revert him back to his previous villainous self as the Green Goblin. But we'll just have to wait and see. So far, I've really liked Go Goblin. Norman Osborn is a surprisingly deep character, and I hope they continue to develop him and not just put him back as Green Goblin again. Next issue. Gunslinger Spawn, number 16. This is probably my favorite of the ongoing Spawn books right now. Gunslinger is a very interesting character. Just seeing him continue to cope with the modern world while at the same time tracking down those that wronged him back in the 1860s where he came from before Spawn, Al Simmons, pulled him forward through time. Been a really good read. Art by Brett Booth is very solid in this book. I definitely recommend, if you're not reading Spawn or especially Gunslinger, to go ahead and continue and get on board. Next issue, this is Predator number 6. I believe this is the last issue before they're going to relaunch it again with a new number 1. This continues the story of basically a girl whose family was killed by the Predators, and she's been hunting them one by one for years, trying to find the one that actually killed her family. I believe this is the final issue of this particular story arc, so I've got high hopes for it. Next up, Spawn 337. Another solid Spawn book. Very good cover art. This kind of continues Al Simmons' war with not just Heaven and Hell, but also with various entities like the Green, and then also I believe the Court of Priest. It's been a very interesting ride so far. A little bit of a slow burn, but we'll just have to see where it goes. But again, if you're not reading Spawn books, definitely check these out. They're definitely worth your time and money. Next issue, Spider-Man number 4. This continues the end of the Spider-Verse story. Last issue, I don't want to spoil it too much, but basically Peter Parker is now off the board, and the ones who have not basically been taken over by Sathra, who is the kind of like a wasp totem who ends up taking over and more or less not quite mind controlled but she is taking spiders from across the multiverse and building her army, and there's fewer and fewer spiders left to oppose her. Previously they looked to Peter Parker to help them, but after he's been taken off the board from last issue, they're going to have to find somebody else. And that seems to be what this cover alludes to, is who's going to be the Spider-Man that can save the multiverse. Next up, Star Wars number 30. This issue, it really seems to be focusing more on Luke and Leia, which is kind of what you want to see anyway. This particular volume, if you didn't know, is set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It's been pretty solid so far, but I kind of think it's lost its way a little bit. I'm not really sure where the story's going. Luke is still trying to find himself as a Jedi. Leia is trying to find herself as leader of the rebellion. It's been an interesting ride, but I really think they need to pick up the pace of the story. Next up, Star Wars Darth Vader, number 30. So this deals with the handmaidens. If you remember from The Phantom Menace, and also from Attack of the Clones, Padme Amidala had basically body doubles and people who would basically assume her identity to try and protect her. This is the story of those handmaidens going after Darth Vader because they blame him for the death of Padme. So we'll have to see if where this goes and if they really realize that Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader are one and the same. Last book. This is Star Wars The Mandalorian, number 7. This continues the adaptation of Season 1 of The Mandalorian. It's been a good story so far. I actually have not gone back and watched Season 1 again. I think I've seen it twice so far. But it's nice to revisit that original Season 1, and you really realize how good Mandalorian is. I'm not a huge fan of the Disney Star Wars overall, but certain things, for example, The Mandalorian, things like Rogue One, those are really solid. So I hope they keep this direction, and I hope they keep adding to the Mandalorian kind of a sub-universe within Star Wars. Okay, that was the last book. Thank you for watching today. Keep collecting, and remember, buy what you like, and you'll always be happy with what you're reading. Have a good day. Bye-bye.